This is Catholic Prophecies for You, describing the prophecies the pertinent to the end times. We're talking today about the prophecies of Blessed Marie Taigi, who is taken from the Reign of the Antichrist. This particular book you see here was authored, or actually collected by Reverend R. Gerald Colton. You can obtain this book from a number of sources, including Books a Million, Amazon.com, Barnes & Noble, and Tab Books itself. The price of the book runs about $18.95. You can get 240 pages for that volume. It's a really good book. It has a prophecy of many saints. Today we're going to be covering the specific prophecies of Blessed Marie Taigi, Part 1. This Blessed Lady died in 1837. She was married, small mother of many children, who was besought by the popes themselves, kings and queens, for very accurate revelations of the future. She could see the past, present, and future through a golden globe suspended in midair, and it was presented to her by the divine, meaning God himself. She could see to the depths of souls and tell forthrightly where the deceased relatives of many were located, heaven, hell, or even purgatory. She was able to bilocate and bore the stigmata of Christ. And by bilocate, she means she's able to be in two different places at the same time. Prophecies include the following. God will decree two afflictions. One will originate on earth, namely wars, revolutions, and other evils. The other judgment comes from the air. A very thick darkness shall envelop the earth during the 3 days. She describes the 3 days of darkness. This awful darkness shall be impregnated with such pestilential vapors and filled with such frightful apparitions that they will cause, in a more special manner, the death of the hypocritical and avowed enemies of the Holy Church, meaning the Catholic Church, the traditional Catholic Church. On this terrible occasion, many of the wicked men, enemies of the Church and their God, enemies of the Church and their God, shall be killed by the divine scourge, that their corpses around Rome will be as numerous as fish, which then a recent inundation of the Tiber had carried into the city. All enemies of the Church, secret as well as known, will perish over the whole earth during the universal darkness, with the exception of some few whom God will soon after convert. The air shall be infested with demons who will appear under all sorts of hideous forms. During this darkness, artificial light will be impossible. Only blessed candles can be lighted and will afford illumination. He who out of curiosity opens his window to look out or leaves his house will fall dead on the spot. During these 3 days, the people should remain in their homes, pray the Rosary, and beg God for mercy. These are very, very critical to know. She goes on to state, the heavenly apparition shall come to reassure the faithful. St. Peter and St. Paul will appear on the clouds, and all men shall see them, and in a supernatural manner faith shall return to their hearts. Innumerable conversions of heretics shall cause universal edification. One day, Anna Maria, while shedding a torrent of tears, prayed and offered her actions and sufferings for the conversion of sinners, for the destruction of sin, and that God might be known and loved by all men. Then God manifested to her the horrible sins of persons of every condition, and how grievously he was offended. At this sight, the servant of God experienced profound sorrow, and sighing, she exclaimed, Dearly beloved, what is the remedy for this disaster? Jesus Christ answered, My child, the Church, my spouse, my Father, and myself shall remedy everything. For after punishment, those who survive shall have to conduct themselves well. At this point she saw innumerable conversions of heretics who would return to the bosom of the Church. She saw also the edifying conduct of their lives as well as that of all other Catholics. Here refer you on to see Part 2.